Let's have a beautiful experience. In this video, we're going to be talking about how manual labor can actually raise your natural testosterone levels, HGH levels, and make your penis bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder. It's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. All right, before we get started here, please do me a huge favor, and please ring the bell, tell a friend, subscribe to the channel, follow my social media. I go by Jesus_Detroit on Instagram, Snapchat, I'm YOUNGDAYGO. And with this video, you got I really got inspired for the Labor Day and for just how manual labor is the foundation of what just made a man a man. And I know nowadays you got the commercial that wants to sell the force factor in a can to just tell you that you're weak and powerless. And you know what? I don't buy into that powder. The power is within. You are the one that creates the natural testosterone, the natural human growth hormone, and the ability to naturally make your penis bigger, wider, thicker, longer, and stronger. My message, I'm a spiritual coach. I teach people, how to do that, how to make your penis bigger. Get in my inbox. I do Skype sessions, and I can help you help you be your best version. Now, I really want to get into telling you about how manual labor is like, the reason of just being just naturally just masculine and producing the hormones that you need to grow. And you got people that aren't necessarily doing the manual labor anymore. A lot of things have changed over time, and you might have people that say that the diet back then was way worse, or say the food back then was way this. And it's all a holistic rabbit hole. If you really look into it, it's your own perspective on that. Because it's like, you're talking guys, you're going to always show that picture of the guys on that, that iron beam, like there's like everybody was just a steel worker back in the 30s or something, just building skyscrapers or whatever. And you're going to say, that was a real man. And then, it's like a force factor, whatever, testosterone, SARM type of commercial. And, we don't need that, to just really, tell you that you need to be doing stuff like that to be a man. And, back then you're talking about, working with your hands, digging some ditches, swinging some hammers. And those jobs still exist, but, this is the new, this is the modern era. We got a lot of computer savvy, different types of jobs and different types of diets. And back then you could just smoke a pack of cigarettes all day and eat a steak and eggs and all that. And nobody worried about things like, cholesterol and, getting fat and obese and, worried about making kids. I mean, they were doing all right. You know what I mean? They didn't have to, they were living long lives, 70s and 80s. And, but to each their own. Everybody's different. I really find that however you look at this, with your perspective, like maybe people weren't living as long back then, or maybe they weren't aware that they had high cholesterol, or they weren't aware of their, poor diet choices. But, any way that you cut it, you look at anybody that works manual labor, no matter what physical shape that they're in, no matter what their diet is, they're making a lot of kids. And, Mexicans can test for that. I mean, they're the ones building this country. That's right, fool. You know what I mean? They're eating beans and rice and cerveza every day. And we got a lot of beautiful kids coming along the way. So you ain't got to think that, the diet is like necessarily, the foundation of testosterone. Because, the manual labor and the manual mentality and that animalistic mind is what's going to create the power and ability to just be that man, to just grow that, to make your penis bigger and wider and thicker, and be able to just, you know, be fertile and virile and be able to just, you know, ooze pre-cum and just make babies just like that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you want to do that, but I'm just saying you want to be as virile and as masculine and as strong as you can, because that's what this channel is dedicated to, making you your best version and having naturally high testosterone. Those are just the side effects of it. You're going to always be more virile. And, you know, I tell you, a lot of people out there aren't doing the manual labor, and you're passing it off to other people, and you're asking yourself, like, you know, why do I got to buy this pill, or why am I having problems over here, or, you know, like, I got to get in the gym. And it's like, you don't necessarily have to do that, you know. I mean, I've, you know, grew up doing, you know, some construction jobs and, you know, swinging a hammer every now and then, and among other things. But, you know, you don't have to necessarily go out and get a construction job to have that feeling. I mean, I remember back, there was like a Men's Health article a while ago, and it showed you, you know, like manually cutting the grass and stuff, how that was actually, you know, would raise your testosterone levels and actually, you know, be quite beneficial, you know, doing the, you know, get rid of the gas-powered equipment and actually use your, you know, natural ability, your natural muscles, because when you're doing that, you're actually engaging your primal testosterone, and that's what's making you a man. That's what's making you as big as you can be. It's what's helping you grow and keeping your blood flowing, skin glowing, hair flowing, and, you know, something you should consider. You know, you don't have to necessarily pass off, you know, if you have a lawn in the yard, you know, telling somebody that they should, you know, pay them $20 or whatever to go cut it. Get yourself a manual lawnmower, do it once in a while. You know, and that's a workout that will definitely raise your testosterone. I guarantee it. You do that all day, you know, or you do something like, you know, especially if you get a shovel and you start digging a ditch, digging a trench. That, to me, if you're doing that hour after hour, one of the most hands down powerful exercises you can do. Definitely will, you know, beat anything, you know, that you do at the gym. You know, I got those shoulders going, man. Tell you, getting a pump holding the phone, that's a beautiful thing, man. You gotta love it. But be as it may, you know, this is the biggest pump that everybody's getting now, is holding this, you know, holding the phone, right? You know, you gotta get out there and do manual labor is all I'm saying. Like, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, you know, get a shovel going and get that blood flowing, man. Because I tell you, like, whenever I work like a construction job, whether it be like just something like moving a wheelbarrow, digging a ditch, to me is definitely one of the that is like the king of all. Like, you're gonna feel like the most empowered, slave moving, just masterful giant that you can be, because you're just making that testosterone. And it doesn't matter what your diet's gonna be that day. Well, you know, there's a lot of ins and outs of where you're at and your factor, but I know that when I get done digging a ditch, and then you're just drinking beers all day and having a bloody steak, America, you know, you just, you know, feel right, man. Labor Day's coming, you know. It makes you just feel like alive. And it's not about, you know, having this proper vegan diet and you got to have this or that. I mean, it's the manual labor that's going to make you the best version that you can be. And you'd be quite surprised the feeling that you will get after accomplishing something like that. And you'll be like, wow, like, no wonder there was like people that were getting made back then, and there was no such thing as Viagra or Cialis, and no wonder, like, you know, people didn't have to really worry about their diet so much. It's because that manual labor is the cornerstone, the key, the power of everything that you can be. And it's just constantly like reminding you that the man that you are, the power that you have, and constant movement. And it doesn't have to necessarily, you know, be like you're swinging the heaviest hammer or whatever, or like digging. It's just that constant movement of getting down in your groin and getting down and just digging and sweating, getting dirty. All that kind of stuff just really, you know, helps you just become the animal you are, man, you know, because that's what we really are at the end of the day. I mean, you know, one perspective on it, you know, we are all just sexual beings, you know, giving ourselves the excuses of why we're not hooking up, you know. I mean, that's just one way of looking at it. You want to check out some videos on sexual shadow work, you know, you should definitely check that out. You know, I really go deep into, do some deep diving, but subjects for other videos, and it's something that you should definitely check out. And like I said, we're all sexual beings, just giving ourselves the excuse of why we're not hooking up. So that being said, you know, we're talking manual labor. The diet doesn't really matter as much, but then you look at things like, you know, this is what I notice at least, like drug addicts, like crackheads and meth heads, and you're like, wow, like, I know, I'm not saying I don't condone doing drugs, all right? Let's start with that, you know, but to each their own. You find your way. But something that I noticed, when you see like a meth head on the street, well, I mean, for one, they might not have some teeth, but they are extremely ripped, some of them. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, and some of you guys are like biased, like, oh, they're so skinny. No. If you're seeing definition, you're seeing shoulders popping, veins bulging, triceps, you're seeing abdominals. If you're seeing that, they're ripped. All right, you know, just because you don't see your toes, you know, doesn't mean that guy's got blood flow, and doesn't mean that, you know, he's not muscular. All right, I'm saying that guy or person that's in that state of constantly being, you know, methed out or, you know, cracked out or whatever. You know, we're gonna do a quick deep dive right here. I just really want to open up your minds a little bit, because this is very enlightening. And let's think about this. You see a guy that's methed out, you know, he might look crazy or whatever, but the thing that he's doing all day is he's just constantly like, yeah, you know, just like in that motion of just, oh my God, just, you know, just methed out or cracked out, just like, you know, just constantly just flexing and just grinding his teeth and just like this all day long. You know, I mean, that might not be the best meth head perspective, because you might be like, you know, more twitchy or whatever, but the ones that are like, you know, just all kind of this like really you know, like in that kind of motion, you know what I mean, those are guys that are producing testosterone even when they're on a drug binge. And I'm just saying, you can take some lessons out of that if you look at it with the right, you know, perspective. You know, superior mind, superior attitude. Steven Seagal said that, I think. But be as it may, we're talking about the motion of getting in that, you know, just that animalistic, primal, you know, flow. And, you know, like I said, a lot of crackheads, meth head, whatever type of, you know, cokehead, anybody that's in that just, like, you know, just constant, like, flex, motion, yelling, and, you know, just getting loud, like, yeah! You know, sometimes, I'm sorry if I had to scream a little bit, but I mean, you gotta get that out, because you gotta let your inner lion roar a little bit, just to kind of like make you come alive. And I know that might seem crazy to some, and I'm not telling you to go outside and just start screaming, but I hear people in New York yell at the subway a lot to just let it go and feel good and let it grow, because that is actually something that's going to help you just release testosterone. Something that I came up with is you don't have to yell with projecting your voice like I just did, you know what I mean? And what I'll do is, like, even before bed, just to get some, you know, I'll show you guys a bedroom routine eventually once we get to that level. We got to get some more, you know, get some more people on here, and I'm going to show you a lot of stuff along the way, you know, give you some valuable tips and information that might blow your mind. So anyways, what I'm talking about is before you go to bed, you know, I'm not talking about, you know, obviously screaming and waking up the neighbors and scaring the kids and the, you know, wherever you live. I mean, not everybody lives in the woods, you know, where you can go scream like that and nobody's going to think nothing, or everybody's just used to you, you know, whatever. So the thing that I came up with is you scream without yelling. And what you're doing is, I know it might sound like, how do you do that? You're just putting yourself in the motion of the scream and the yell, so your body is mimicking the motions and producing the testosterone as you're doing it. So you just heard me yell or whatever. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're quiet, you know, and it might look kind of crazy, but you know, you got to do some crazy stuff, man. You got to step outside your comfort zone. That's where you grow. And the crazy ones are the ones that change the world, right? Steve Jobs, beautiful thing. So listen to this, visualize what I'm doing. You're visualizing the scream, and you're just raising that testosterone inside, man. Because think about, you know, before I get into this, before I show you the example, just think about roid rage, all right? I got videos on steroids. I don't condone doing them. I'm not against them. I don't do them because, you know, I like having a big piece of meat swinging between my legs, a huge set of, you know, melons for balls, you know, and just producing a lot of just natural testosterone, dripping pre-cum. I'm all about it, you know what I mean? I want a bigger piece of meat down there before I'm worried about making the muscles bigger, because my visualization, you know, bigger piece of meat, bigger muscles, throb between the pecs, that's where I'm going with this. So now that we got that, you know, cleared up, without further ado, I'm gonna show you how to do a scream without yelling, you know, and this is something you should incorporate, you know, before going to bed, or just when you want to just get some stress out and just charge up your chi. This is a chi charging technique that Montauk Chi might not even talk about. You know, he's a Taoist. I preach about him a lot in my videos, and sorry I'm going off on a tangent, but this guy was on the London Reel, and he really talks about semen retention, charging your chi, and it's something that I believe in. You don't want to release your cum every day, and you know, something that helped me out tremendously. You know, it helps you just, you know, grow and just be just, you know, naturally just ready to go. You know, helps you be able to just, you know, go round after round after round, because you're controlling your load. It helps you that when you actually ejaculate, you can just stay up and just throb even bigger, and there's no pill that you got to rely on, because you're just charging up the natural being that you are. And anyways, getting into this yell for you, you know, I mean, it's not like, you know, whatever, but I just want to just give you, like, just, you know, I'm sure the people that are going to do this actually know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've done it unbeknownst to you. But like I said, without further ado, I'm going to do it. And what it is you're just like, just imagine yourself just yelling, but you're not yelling. So you're just like, and see, I was getting a little bit extra, but you know, so you get your roar going. I got my animals going nuts now, man. See, and like, that lets you know that you're charging up your chi and your inner cycle, because that's where the, you know, that's where growth occurs, man, you know. And just think about guys that have roid rage, like, oh yeah, these roids, man, I can't go in traffic. When I'm on the trun, can't be around me when I'm on the trun. I'm a mean person, you know. And to me, you know, to each their own. I can't tell you the way, you know, that can make you feel, but I know that you can activate your own inner beast, start to yell and feel these techniques, and make yourself a beast. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with this. So you ain't got to just, you know, you ain't got to, you know, snort for it, jab a vein for it, smoke for it. All you got to do is believe and reach inside and find that inner crazy, man, and just let it grow, man. And that's what it's all about, keeping it flowing. So, you know, I feel energized. I feel beautiful. Feel like, you know, cutting the grass or whatever, you know, getting this place beautiful. It's a beautiful weekend here. You know, I hope you guys, I intend on you guys to enjoy your time, be entertained, spread some love, attract beauty into your life, make yourself the best that you can be. Like I said, I'm a spiritual coach, I'm a spiritual guide, I'm a mentor, and I could help you become your best you. Please get in my, you know, inbox. I got the Big Cock Consciousness, the Big Cock Collective, where I help people grow their penises bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder. And that's my, you know, that's one of my main gifts to this world, is to help people just exist, be your best, just be full of love, full of energy, and you know, like I said. So make sure you guys, you know, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, tell some friends, follow me on my social media, comment down anything below that you were entertained with, and things that you might not have knew, or things that you even do to raise that testosterone, you know, whether you're doing the quiet, crazy yell that I do, or, you know, cutting the grass, or, you know, any type of things that you do to naturally raise that testosterone and just make yourself the best version you can be. I want to tell you guys are beautiful. I believe in you guys. I love you guys. And, you know, a lot more to come. I'll be seeing you on the next one. Peace.